Welcome to the Circle of Grace 1. I'm your host, Chief Principal Teacher and Founder, Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey. Today is Sunday, June the 3rd, 2012. This is live webcast number 187. However, we're doing it pre-recorded. And I want to welcome many of you that will be watching this a little later. Readings of Divine Grace Blessings and Remembrance. Well, you know, the Circle of Grace 1 was founded on July 2nd, 1999 AD under the aegis and anointing of the Angel of Grace through divine providence. It is my spiritual and metaphysical ministry. And of course, it gave birth on February 7, 2009 to its own spiritual and metaphysical institute called the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. And so we're back here and we have this golden opportunity to share the teachings here at least once a month, but I've also been coming on and doing some other pre-recorded segments for a special channel in which the Circle of Grace 1 is being shown right now, which is on YouTube. And so many of you will be able to go there and see many of the teachings there. Now, I'm still also doing them with Ustream. I'm just giving myself a break there on the Ustream website. But I'm doing it now so that a lot of people can see these programs. And instead of watching just 15-minute programs or 20-minute programs, I now can upload at least 90 minutes programs or 2-hour programs. So I'm not sure how long today's show will be, but we're going to get as much information out there as possible. As you may or may not know, if it's the first time watching this segment, usually there are 3 parts for the Circle of Grace 1 when I do it this way every first Sunday. Now, the first part is devoted to the key to life is numerology and the power of numbers. And that is basically talking about the spiritual value of the number, let's say for the current year, universal vibration 5 for 2012. And so I'm going to give you a brief insight into that. And then I take you into the power of numbers, which comes into a part known as the 12 grace gems. That means there's a grace gem message for each one of the 12 sun signs. And since we're in the Gemini, it will begin with Gemini and it will end with Taurus. And then also what you'll see here is that you will also see information called under the heading of the Grace Keys of Remembrance. And there's a special grace key for the entire month. And so there's a very spiritual message for that one. And then I'm going to take you into a meditation, which will help anchor in the teachings. And this is something that everybody values. When I was back on the East Coast, I was doing at least 2 shows on the first Sunday at 11 a.m., followed by a 6 or 7 p.m. show, Eastern Standard Time. But now that I'm out here in the Southwest, out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we're changing things around a little bit. Now, usually I would come on brightly and pacifically at 9 a.m., so everyone out on the East Coast can catch it at 11 a.m. But I'm doing these formats pre-recorded, so it gives me enough time to get the information out, and then it gives you enough time to view it whenever you want to. And you're viewing these programs for free. This is live webcast number 187. And so what I want to do before I do anything else is to let you know that if you ever want to be in contact with me, you could always email me at my main email address, which is iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. That's iam.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at yahoo.com. My backup one is Bishop Francis at circleofgrace1.net. That's connected to my website, Circle of Grace with the number 1 at the end.net. Bishop Francis is one word at circleofgrace1.net. And you could also leave a message at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. Now, I have 2 Pacific phone numbers that I'm going to leave with you right now, which is the Skype internet phone number of 973-685-5978. And any sound you hear in the background, I call those my directors. And then, of course, we have the Circle Grace One spiritual meditational prayer decree request line, and you can always hear a wonderful decree there and then leave a message. And that number is 505-717-4722. That's 505-717-4722. And when you listen to that, you'll hear a beautiful decree, and then you're able to leave me a message. You can also leave a message at 973-685-5978. It's connected to my laptop here, and so I can get that message anywhere that I am in the world, technically. Well, what I want to be able to do here today is begin with a brief prayer, and in fact, I'm going to actually give you a universal affirmative prayer and decree. Now, I'm going to have to read it because it's quite long, but this will be something that will help you on any level, whether it's emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical. It's the universal affirmative prayer and decree to change the weather of your mind. Today and every day I shall affirm that I remember that I am first and foremost a replica of the infinite thought of God, and I am always remembering my divine connection is one always overflowing abundantly upon the face of Mother Earth. Each and every moment called now actually means that the spirit called I am is never ending, whole and complete. Whenever I think of myself as an individual, it means that I am a full integral part of God's own creation. Therefore, I simply acknowledge that the I am presence, called God, is always present within me. There are no more separations in my mental process, nor in my feeling process, and not even in my physical presence. For what I see around me is really an illusion. I affirm that I and God are really and truly one. I affirm that no matter what the weather and climate is like outside of myself, I am and can easily see, feel, know, and understand that I am feeling the excitement of being alive, of being happy, joyful within myself. I affirm that I am totally responsible for making and having myself being just as happy and free within my own mind. I affirm that God in me is absolutely pleased with me. God in me, as me called I am, means that I shall always be free in my own mind and happy all of the time. I affirm that I celebrate life and living as I am, which is God in me. I affirm that God is always and infinitely my unfailing supply of absolute support and prospered abundance right here and now in my life. And so it is true that I am that I am. Amen. I see and decree that all that I have said is the truth of me as I am. I want you to kind of flow with that energy and let it kind of sit in your presence. The presence of your own divinity, the presence of your heart and mind. Let that energy kind of marinate with you through divine power and by divine grace. Know that all that you will receive today will be helpful for you. Through divine power and by divine grace, may those who receive and know and understand their gifts and have honed them into skills, may you be able to go forth as you should every day, sharing those gems, those pearls, those wisdoms with the world. Touch someone who is near thee, someone who's close to you. Touch someone you do not know. Be a blessing to others, and therefore a blessing to yourself. Know that divine grace is flowing through you daily. Divine grace is giving you a spirit of wellness. Divine grace is bringing It is bringing forth for you beauty, harmony, understanding, infinite flows of that, infinite degrees of wellness, infinite degrees of wholeness, infinite degrees of perfection, infinite degrees of self-knowledge, self-awareness, self-attunement, self-alignment, self-realization, knowing that all that you are seeking and have sought after for so long has now embraced you, has raised your self-worth of who you are, the value of who you are. And know that you're here to be happy. You're here to love yourself as you love others. You're here to shower respect upon yourself as you would shower the same to others. You're here to be nurtured as you're here to nurture others. You're here to grow as you're here to help others to grow. This is a time of great transformation, regeneration, and rebirth. This is why it is called 2012. The number 20 is very significant here. Well, what would that 20 mean? 20 is like a Plutonian effect in astrology. So it has the power, we feel it as the power, the magnetism, the electricity to draw you forward. It's taking the fire energy of Mars and heightening that energy. So that fire energy becomes an etheric flame. So that it becomes a more soothing flame and begins to cure what is on the inside of you. Able to quell the disbeliefs that come through your ego and out of your ego. 20 is transformation, change, going over, coming out of, coming through the form of your ideas, your mind, your thinking process. It is a time of renewal. Renewing the way you think and feel about issues and people, which means that you want to remain open as much as you possibly can without any fear, without any doubt, without any disbelief, without any illusions. It is a time to not only generate, but regenerate, but not repeat the past. Just move forward from the present moment called now. We call it 2012. 12 is the releasing of the old thought patterns, the old behavioral patterns, the way we used to talk, the way that we receive. It's getting rid of all of that, what you might call nonsense, that which is not sense, that makes absolutely no sense to you. Things that you don't have to carry around with you anymore as burdens. 12 is just letting it go. Coming and also reaping the harvest at the same time. Looking on the inside, seeing the fruits of your labor, all the seed thoughts that bring you harmony and beauty and peace. Brings you joy and happiness and a celebration of life. This is what you're harvesting. 32 is your opportunity to bring everything together. 30 means you have reflected on divine essences. 2 means you are becoming a partner with those divine laws. So it's 32. Truth is coming into you and into your life. 5 is the ability to communicate it freely, to move about freely with grace, being grace, the principle itself being divine grace, the spirit and the principle of this divine source that is of an infinite resource. So the spirit and the principles of divine grace uplifts your spirit. It intervenes into your life and then releases you into a higher state of being, a higher state of having, of living, of wellness for yourself. So let's take a look now. If we see that this is a universal 5, that means those of you under Gemini and Virgo, and those of you born in the 5th sign, which is Leo, have an opportunity to shift your awareness. So if you've been going through or struggling and been feeling down or depressed and overwhelmed, you can shift that into a higher gear of more positive thinking, more positive being. So you can allow yourself to feel a greater sense of wholeness and awareness. So this is what you're doing now. You are shifting yourself, changing the way you think. For some who, and that's just not Leo or Gemini or Virgo, this is, we can put this out to everyone. You want to get away from being a person who is constantly criticizing others. Because the nature of 5 is with ease. You can overcome any excesses. You just adapt. But you have to be able to communicate your thoughts, communicate your feelings, communicate your ideas. You're a messenger and you move swiftly throughout the universe or your surroundings. But you don't want to be in a position or find yourself in a position where you're becoming overly critical of loved ones, of friends, even of yourself, your neighbors, your co-workers, your boss, your employees. So you want to change, because the nature of the 5 energy is to move swiftly into something. You can move forward, but you could do it by pacing yourself and being observant. So this shift is a change, but you have to decide now. How are you going to go about receiving the shift and embracing the shift? This is the time when you don't have to overanalyze anything. This is the time when you're moving into a state of feeling it. This is the moment when you begin to see, as they used to say in a biblical sense, the word made flesh. It means materialize it. You can touch it. Not only just manifest it, meaning it's already in thought, because it's out of spirit, it's in thought, it's already manifested, housed in a spiritual energy field, coming into a mental causal energy field, where it begins to take on a form. We see the idea become an ideal situation. We begin to feel it and draw upon it and take it within us and then birth it. So we embody the truths. Then we birth the truths. We bring them into the mind and into the body, and then into the womb, the water essence of us, and then we release it. We let it go. You don't have to focus on it anymore. You just know that it's reaching, that it's touching, that it's making a difference, that it's creating an impact, that it's becoming a catalyst, that is moving people forward or energy forward. So let's take a look at the month of June. June 2012. This current calendar system that we're working with. This is considered the 6th month. If we add the universal 5 to that 6, we get a universal vibration, a master number, which is the 11. We want to cure the process of the ego, the personal ego. We don't want to get caught up in looking at ourselves too much, focusing on ourselves too much, in the sense that we become self-centered. You want to be able to stretch out the self and connect with other selves. The nature of that master number 11 is sometimes one receives in confidence by others a secret, a code, or codes. Well, this is the time we would bust the codes. You don't have to keep holding on to them. This is a time to break things down a little bit. You don't have to keep carrying this as if it's a burden. It is a letting go period so that you can begin to receive. Why? Because in this month, we're going to experience the summer solstice. We switch from the spring fully into the summer. So it's sort of like the Archangel Raphael, in the newness of his mind, our mind, passing the baton to the Archangel Michael, where the fire of spirit can continue its process. But you can feel more protected in your mind, but you don't have to feel overwhelmed at all. You know that you are receiving from a higher standpoint. So this 11 universal month, which is June, you'll see the greater mysteries unfold. The mysteries of your DNA is unfolding before you. The mysteries of that cellular memory is unfolding before you. The keys that were once hidden from you are now rising to the surface. And they're being made available to you. For those who are ready to receive, you shall receive. So what happens is your dreams and your visions hold keys. You find them and use them daily. Now this is specific now if you are coming under the sign of Leo, Cancer, Aquarius, and Pisces, specifically in the month of June. This is your opportunity, those 4 sun signs, and perhaps maybe individuals have it as rising sign, meaning ascendant at the time of their birth, or many people have it as a lunar sign. This is your opportunity to express, but you have to continue to work on yourself, to open up and remain open, yet shielded from lesser frequencies, or what we would call, quote unquote, negative frequencies. Let's call it a frequency that doesn't fit with you, doesn't set with you. A frequency that may be binding you. This is a time when twin soul energies are about, meaning they're freely moving around. This is a time where the soulmate energies are freely moving around. This is a time when you need to clear your chakras daily. That's right. Clear them and also energize them. Clear and energize your chakras daily. Utilize prayers, affirmations, affirmative prayers, decrees, and meditations to remain uplifted, to keep your energy going higher and higher and higher. This is what you want to do. You want your energy centers to flow with the light. This is essential. You're going to want this light to flow for you. You're going to want to be able to not worry about anything. So let's look at our 12 grace gems right now. The message for each one of the 12 signs. And what I want to be able to do here, I want to make sure that I'm getting all 12 signs in. I just want to just check my notes for a brief moment here. Just make a note. And now what I want you to be aware of is that this is your time. Everybody has an opportunity to move forward. Right? Everybody has an opportunity to move forward. What I want to say, this is not, because usually whatever astrological solar energy period we're in, that's where I'm going to start. But something has come to mind to mention. If you're born under the sign of Aries, sun sign Aries, or maybe you have a rising sign is Aries, or your lunar sign is Aries, what you want to do in the month of June here is that you want to make sure that whatever you're about to do, whatever decisions you have to make, that they're done for the highest good of you and for the highest good of all who are connected to you. For the highest good of you and for the highest good of all who are connected. You want to maintain a wider scope. It's very important. You want to have an open mind. But you also want to be specific about that. And you want to work, let's say, amongst the brotherhood, sisterhood vibration. In other words, you want to see more of a family unit going on. If you're in a relationship, a more wholesome relationship. If you're not in a relationship, a more wholesome relationship with yourself. Because it's all about now, during this Universal 11 June month, is to work on oneself. But specifically, if you're under the sign of Leo, Aquarius, Cancer, and Pisces, continue to work on yourself. So that when you flow into the month of July, you'll feel better about what you're doing. So, for Gemini, take care of your personal and your professional business, personal and professional life. Make them both flow with joy and good energy. That's, in other words, stay happy, Gemini. Don't fall into a funk. Stay happy. Now, money is energy, is a form of energy. That's what we call it, a currency. What is the current? What is currently going on in your mind? How is the energy? Just like I went through this Universal Affirmative Prayer and Decree. What is the weather like in your mind, in your thinking? What is the weather like within your body? Because once you know what it's like in your body, and if it's not settled, if it's not clear, then everything outside of you won't feel clear. So you want everything to literally flow together. So remember, Gemini, everything is energy. Life is energy. Your words are energy. The way you dress is energy. You're laying out energy all the time. So this is very, very important. For those of you born under the sign of Cancer, your home is your castle. So, open it up to invite loved ones, people who you care about, family and friends. You want to bring people around you so that you could bring healing and wholeness back into their lives. This is for those of you born under the sign of Cancer. This is a joyful time right now for you if you're born under the sun sign of Cancer. This is your opportunity to present healing, to display healing, to experience healing right now. Now we come back to Leo. Be more practical in your thinking. Stop pushing around. In other words, don't push yourself around. Don't push yourself out there so much. Because, see, Leo has the ability to gain entry into the spotlight just about in any modality. Any healing modality, any creative modality, any analytical style, technical modalities, any scientific modality. They could step out and be out there on stage for all to see. But it's saying here, as much as you want to be out there in the center of the universe, of your universe, you also want to make sure that you're not pushing yourself so much that you're overwhelmed, overheated, exhausted. This is a good time for the Leo ego to either be placed aside or better in alignment with the divine mind. So if you're experiencing some egoic situations, some conflicting of wills, then perhaps what you want to do is realign yourself with the divine mind. In other words, get out of the man-made world. Get out of the man-made world. You don't need to be in that world. You need to be in the spiritual world, but you need to make it all practical for you. So you don't need to be running all over the place. You want to have everything contained right here in the here and now. So for Leo, the message is be practical, be down to earth, and align yourself with that which is greater than you. Then you won't be pushing around. You won't feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on in your life. And you're better able to handle leadership. Because you're a natural leader, so better able to handle the leadership. Maybe you want to be the co-leader, partner up with someone. Virgo. Now, the energies here for Virgo can be quite intense. You're going to feel the emotional nature rise, the psychic nature arise. You're going to be questioning your intuitive nature. But you don't have to question. 5 is the curiosity seeker. But I want to remain free. I want to be able to communicate freely my ideas. So don't pressure yourself. Relax the body and the mind. You should play more. Set up a vacation day, a spa day, a mental health day, a day of retreat to release any excessive energies, any stagnated energy. This is for Virgo. Virgo loves to stay busy, like Gemini. Gemini and Virgo can be the busybodies at times. They got to be all over the place. But as much as you're going to be all over the place, come back to oneself. Be careful how you speak to others, Gemini. Also, this is because I'm speaking of Virgo. Be very careful how you're going to speak your mind. Say what you have to say, Virgo. Sometimes, and this happens with a lot of older Virgos, sometimes, or feeling very stagnated with their life, they can be very curt. So watch what you say and who you say it to. You know, the tongue is a double-edged sword. It can come, whatever you say can come back to haunt you. Libra. Balance your life between your family, your friends, your other loved ones, your business people, associates, your colleagues, and yourself. Now, Libra usually can speak the truth very clearly, but you got to be able to receive it well when it's coming from others. In other words, sometimes, Libra, you might feel like you want to be the teacher. And yes, you make a great teacher, or a great counselor, a great motivational speaker, a great personal life coach, a personal trainer. But sometimes there's certain truths that are going to come back that you need to receive as gems in your process of living and being. So if you're not willing to accept truth that comes to you, you're going to have to now look at why that is. Because truth goes both ways. It's a double-edged sword, right? So one edge of the sword is for you, one edge of the sword is for someone else. But likewise, someone else holding the sword of truth have a part, and they have one edge facing them, and there's one edge facing you. So you want to be able to understand this process of receiving truth as well as you speak the truth. Scorpio. You want freedom. You want your freedom now. You don't want to be bound. So adapt. But you must work at developing and then maintaining this freedom. Be careful with secrets that belong to others. I mean, someone may confide in you during this month of June. So what you might want to do, Scorpio, you might want to just really think it. Do I want to be the keeper of the secret? Especially if the secret, listen carefully, especially if that secret would be detrimental to others, hurtful to others. You may not want to be the keeper of that secret. You may ask that person, I don't confide, don't leave that with me. No, I'm not one who's going to talk about it, but I don't want to receive that. That's not for me to carry, that's for you to carry. So, what you need to do, Scorpio, is raise your light, clear yourself, connect with everyone who is moving at a higher pace, meaning who are more spiritually aware, more spiritually open, who remember the divinity within all. You need to, as they say, run with that crowd. You need to be where your spirit can be uplifted. And if you're not feeling it around you in your immediate surroundings, you may have to take yourself into another surrounding where it's prevalent, where it's flowing freely. And avoid selfish behavior. Sagittarius, what is your grace gem for the month of June 2012? Whatever you have been seeking, needing, and desiring is now here for you to partake of it. You can now sip the wine of divinity. You can now bathe in the light of divinity. You can now receive the spiritual message as a massage on you. But rest. Find periods of rest, Sagittarius. Sometimes your energy is all over the place. Why don't you take a nap? Or what they call a power nap. You're going to sleep for 20 minutes. That's it. Then you get up. Feel refreshed. Well, maybe you might say, well, the type of job I have, I can't do that. You still have to make time. Maybe you go to bed earlier. Or maybe on the days that you're off, you literally get up later. That's something to think about. Maybe you take a mental health day, Sag. Maybe you, as much as you want to be with everybody else, maybe you just need to be alone for a split second, as we say, for a moment in time, where you could have your soul nurtured and replenished your energy. So there's a lot of work and a lot of play with younger ones, friends, and family. But you want to pace yourself to become more creative. You want to protect your nervous system. You know how you feel like a person with my nerves is shot? I mean, they're frail. You don't need to be in a position where you can't function anymore. Protect your skin and your energy. Make sure people are not invading your boundaries. What you would want to do is develop more of a discipline and focus with your personal energy. This would mean for Sag, take class like yoga, Pilates class. And there's all kind of yoga classes. There's Kriya yoga systems. There's Bhakti yoga, which is a devotional form of yoga. There's a traditional Hatha yoga you can take, which is the more physical, active one. There are all kinds. All systems of martial arts open to you. Study it, research it, and get involved. You need something that gives you movement and allows you to get that oxygen up in your bloodstream so you feel stronger. So you want to use some form of discipline. You can find it in the martial arts, or if you're into a health regimen for yourself, you can just overhaul it a little bit. Capricorn, you're getting now more creative energy, and more creative energy through finance. You're also able to help more elders, and you're getting assistance from ancestors. I mean, those who are already transitioned ahead of you in the light. They're now assisting you. So continue with this power of creativity with your finances. You're getting closer to your goals where you can be this high energetic achiever. Keep expanding through the power of youthfulness and the youth around you. Okay, that's very helpful for you. Make sure you are getting the proper rest and that you're pacing yourself. You don't need to blow out your circuits, Capricorn. You just need to pace yourself so you don't have to wear yourself out. Those of you under the sign of Aquarius, you like to be the debonair, revolutionary thinkers. You like to raise the evolution of mankind, as they would say. You want to raise the bar. You like being the explorer and the pioneer. But don't do anything that's strange, that's out of your norm. Don't be this person that's going to be out there daring too much. It would be like you trying to be an extreme sport participant. Maybe you're going to do extreme mountain climbing. But if you're not trained for it, don't know what it's like, don't do it. Don't do it on a dare. It could cost you and others. This is a very special time right now for Aquarians. So you don't need to have this feeling of losing connection with the source or with someone who's very special in your life. Be practical and down to earth. Continue to explore and travel. See the world if that's what you're doing. But save your energy. Save your money. And money is energy. Save it. Don't spend it. Pisces. This is a time of great healing and happiness right now. Healing and happiness. Remain open. You're cherished. There are keys to having a more creative life and light energy flowing through you now. So you want to keep the creative light energy doing just that, flowing through you now. Use internal energy, like in the martial arts, the chi and the ki. Use the pranic energy, build on it, so you become more magnetic. Magnetism gets higher as time goes on in the month of June. Increase your self-worth through the power, the principles and the virtues found in your gifts, your talents, and your skills. You're natural at what you're doing, but now you're going to bring it to a higher height of awareness, and a higher height of remembrance will then, as we call, kick in. It will start to release whatever has been planted there deep in the cellular memory. That'll start to come forward, and you'll be able to ride on that energy and make it work for you. Aries. Again, be wise in your thinking. Be wise in your choices, your selections, your decisions. Because you don't want to place yourself in a position where you have to explain something that you can no longer explain. This is a time for Aries to kind of step up a notch, step up many levels, and become more spiritual. You don't have to be the monk in the Himalayas or hidden away. You need to be here, be present in the moment. And Taurus, you have this ability to bring the arts together right now. You have this ability to possess particular abilities where healing just kicks forward. Wellness becomes easy for you. If you're a Taurus, this is a time to be able to speak your truth and let others receive it joyfully. This is also a time then where communication works quite well if you're born under the sign of Taurus. This is your opportunity to feel better and receive better for yourself. This is what the message is. And the grace key of remembrance for the month of June 2012 is this. Remember that you are the light. Study yourself. Heal the self. Seek and find those who can help you do just that, to create better healing for you, better wellness, greater wholeness, feeling the infinite love, the unconditional love Be forever grateful and humble and stronger now with the light of who you really are. You are a spiritual, sentient being who has this integral part to play within the universe, this galactic field of light on a bigger level, where you become one with God, the light called I am, that I am. So, let's take this into a brief meditation. Get out your gemstones, your crystals. I'm bringing out my nice, what I like to use. It's almost like a back rubber. I love to use this. This is selenite. This is a raw piece of selenite. This is one of my healing tools that I use. And if you have this energy, if it's big enough or small enough, it could be maybe about this size. Let me put my hand in the camera. It'd be about that size. Take it and place it along your sternum with the point, what you consider to be the point going down. You're using that, when you do it that way, it's grounding. Place it along your spine so it's rising up, or place it across your back so it's balancing out the upper energy zones, or the middle zone, or the lower zone. You can put it across your body in the front or across the chest at the top, or in your lap the same way. Bringing this energy, this light, through you. So take a moment. You could have an celestial quartz stone cluster, or maybe you have an amethyst cluster, or maybe you'll have one formed like a wand or obelisk type unit. Or maybe you have your gems all around you. Doesn't matter, any kind of gem. It could be dioptase. It could be jade, yellow jade or green jade. It could be lepidolite. It could be marcasite. Anything, tanzanite, anything, malachite. Just whatever you're drawn to, hold that near to you. Take a moment and inhale through the nose and release the breath through the mouth. Do that series about 4 to 5 times. Place your tongue to the roof of your mouth, but behind your 2 front teeth. Just relax and breathe into it. Switch your breathing when you're ready by breathing in and out of the nasal passage, and just go with the flow. Go with that energy. Be in the now. And as you hold that consciousness like a meditation, it's a Creative Pathwork Meditation. I'm going to go back to the Universal Affirmative Prayer Decree to change the weather of your mind. Whenever you hear me say the word I, that is yourself. The word me, that is yourself. Today and every day I shall affirm that I remember that I am first and foremost a replica of the infinite thought of God. Take a moment and just feel that energy flow. Accept that truth about yourself. And I am always remembering my divine connection is one always overflowing abundantly. It's like, let my cup runneth over, surely goodness, and so forth. Same here. Flowing where? Abundantly upon the face of Mother Earth. Each and every moment called now actually means that the spirit called I am is never ending. It is whole and complete. Whenever I think of myself as an individual, it means that I am a fully integrated part of God's own creation. Therefore, I simply acknowledge that the I am presence, called God, is always present within me. There are no more separations in my mental process, nor is it in my feeling process. That means you don't feel like you're broken off to the side. You don't think like you're broken off from anything. You don't feel it physically. For what you see around you is just really an illusion. So you've got to create it from the inside out. Anything that you're doing has got to be on the inside out. I affirm that I and God are really and truly one. So can you envision that? Seeing and knowing that you and God are one. The trillions of cells in your body are that of God. You're in one of the cellular memories of God. You're within the cell of God. You're within this center of the spherical divine energy. So you can now affirm and decree that no matter what the weather and the climate is outside of myself, no matter what it is, I am and can easily see it. That means I am easily seeing and I can easily see, feel, and understand that I am feeling the total excitement of being alive. Take a moment and feel the total excitement of being alive, of being happy and joyful within myself. I mean, within yourself. You want to be able to see that. I affirm, and then I'm going to say it this way, I decree that I am totally responsible for making and having myself being just as happy and free within my own mind. I affirm, and I'm going to say it again, I decree that God in me is absolutely pleased with me. So if someone tells you God is putting fear out, God does not do that. God is love. God is love. And so are you. Unconditional love. And so are you. The spirit of unconditional love. And so are you. So this is essential. I affirm, I'm going to say, I decree that God in me is absolutely pleased with me. I affirm that I celebrate life. I decree that I celebrate life. And living as I am, which is God in me. I affirm that God is always and infinitely my unfailing supply of absolute support and prospered abundance, right here and now in my life. And so it is true that I am, amen. I see and decree that all that I have said is the truth of me as I am here and now. Brothers and sisters that are here, that are tuning into this, wherever you are in the world, and when I say brothers and sisters, I'm beyond complexion. I'm beyond your physical appearance. Embrace each other and bring forth your light so that it is greater upon the earth. The energy called love is light, which is truth, is who you are. Share that brilliant smile, not only upon your face, but in your heart with the world. Embrace one and be a blessing to somebody. Help someone raise their consciousness, raise their awareness of a divine plan here on earth. I want to make a few announcements before we close out. The CircleGrace1.net website is up and running. Go to the home services page and read about all the offerings that are there. I am planning at some point, perhaps during the summer or later on in the year, or maybe in this month, to come forth with another teleseminar. These prepaid teleseminars are $45. And you'll get the conference call number and the conference call PIN number, access code that you'll use to tune in and hear the information. Now, there's just $45 for a prepaid teleseminar. These seminars this time will run anywhere from 60 minutes to 90 minutes, so you'll be able to get the information. And you'll be able to ask questions online as well. My prepaid monthly new e-newsletter that you can get in your inbox called Two Bears, the most recent one, which is volume 2, number 7 for June 1st, 2012 is ready and is already being sent out to those who have paid for their 6-month subscription, which is $25, or paid in advance for a 12-month subscription to Two Bears for $45. And that brand new e-newsletter, which was first the Circle Grace One, as well as separate called Key to Life is Numerology, is now known as the Circle Grace One dash the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. And this one only comes out 3 times a year. So the first one, Volume 1, Number 1, began in March, on March the 1st, and it runs up until June the 30th. That one is already out there, but if you want to get a copy of it, I send it to your inbox for $11. You can pay for it right there through PayPal at circlegrace1.net. If you want to pay for the other 2 issues also, then just send $33 through PayPal. And each person now will get a tailor-made CD just for you, CD audio. So you might hear me bringing a lesson out onto a CD audio for you. Be sure when you pay through PayPal that it is a secured website, so it's an opportunity for you when you make the payment that you have, especially if you have your own account. But if you don't, you can just pay it as a guest. You're going to make it out to, they'll ask you for an email address. You're going to use iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. You're going to use iam.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at yahoo.com, and then I'll get an email expressed to me that you place your payment through PayPal that way, and then I will issue your particular order to you. Now, what I also want you to be aware of is that for those of you that pay in advance for the 3 issues, because the second issue will begin for July the 1st and will end on October 31st, 2012, and then the 3rd issue for volume number 1 will start on November the 1st, 2012, and end on February the 28th, 2013. So that means we'll be covering 4 months at a stretch. It'll have a keynote gemstone or 2. It will have keynote color ray vibrations. It'll have keynote an affirmation or an affirmative prayer. And there'll be teaching throughout it. There'll be channelings from the ascended masters such as Sananda, Revels-Bey, as well as Saint Germain, that are allowing me to place certain information there for you. The Angel of Grace will always have something to say for you, and some of the other archangel vibrations. So I wanted to get that out to you. All of that is accessible at circlegrace1.net home services page. You just follow the instructions, whichever one you want, and I'll receive a response when the payment is made. I want to thank you for coming out and watching this. I also want to let you know that I am developing, I've already done it, but I'm developing even further a new line of artwork. You can buy color prints, 8.5 by 11. Or you can buy prints, black and white prints of my OSS, which is old school sketching. And the prints are also 8.5 by 11, be it color, certain designated ones color, and black and white of the old school sketching will go for $10 and some for $20. And I'm creating new ones every month. It comes under the heading called the Eye of the Spirit, the Eye of the Spirit. And so as soon as I complete that, those brochures and things, but you'll be able to get information about it online, and hopefully I'll be able to add it to circlegrace1.net. You can see a glimpse of some of them right now up on Facebook and at another location called artcreationsmagazine.com. You can type in Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey, and bam, that site, community site, will come up, and you'll see some of them right there. So I wanted to let you know that information. In the future, some of the acrylic, some of the color prints will be turned into acrylic paintings, which will be a little bigger. And so there's a lot of things going on. I just wanted to give you that information. Again, you can email me at iam.circlegrace1@yahoo.com. or iam@circlegrace1@gmail.com, or bishopfrancis@circlegrace1.net. You can call my Skype internet number 973-685-5978, or you can call my other special spiritual prayer meditational decree request line. And this second number that I give you, you can call it 24/7. Listen to that special decree. It lasts almost 2 minutes, but you can hear it. It's at 505-717-4722. That's 505-717-4722, which starts to spell the word grace. I want to thank you for joining me. And before we close, let me just take a moment and hold this selenite here as I release this prayer. Through divine power and by divine grace, thank you for all of you that have watched this pre-recorded format of live webcast number 187 for my spiritual and metaphysical ministry called the Circle of Grace 1, founded on July 2nd, 1999 AD under the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through divine providence. And of course, all the other works and materials fall under the heading of the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance, which is the Spiritual and Metaphysical Institute for the Circle of Grace 1, founded February 7th, 2009. Well, I'm the host, Chief Principal Teacher and Founder, Bishop Francis E. Revels-Bey. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. People say, can you say that again? Yes, I will. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in this age of remembrance. See you soon. See you next time. And I'll be back with live webcasts pre-recorded 188 later on this week for Decree and It Shall Be. And it'll be right here at this channel. God bless you. Thank you for being a partner and friend and listening. And may you have a wonderful day.